Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about something that we all experience, but few of us truly understand how to handle: criticism. How do you feel when someone points out a flaw in your work or your ideas? For many of us, it feels like a personal attack. We become defensive, we feel hurt, or we get angry. We see criticism as a sign of our own failure. But what if we are looking at it all wrong? What if constructive criticism isn't a hammer meant to break us, but a tool meant to build us? This story is for anyone who has ever felt the sting of criticism. It's a powerful lesson that could change the way you see feedback forever. In a sun-drenched Italian village, famous for its brilliant white marble, there lived a young sculptor named Leo. He was blessed with a rare gift. When he looked at a block of stone, he could see the potential for life within it. His hands were skilled, his passion was immense, but he had one great weakness. He was incredibly sensitive to criticism. To Leo, his sculptures were not just objects of stone. They were pieces of his own soul. Every line he carved, every curve he smoothed was a reflection of his deepest emotions. Because of this, any comment on his work felt like a comment on his very being. He worked under the guidance of a wise and patient old master, a man whose sculptures were so lifelike they were said to whisper in the wind. The master saw the fire of genius in Leo, but he also saw the fear that held him back. Whenever the master would offer a gentle suggestion, Leo would resist. If the master said, "The shoulder on this figure is a little too broad, my boy," Leo would hear, "You are a failure. You do not understand anatomy." If the master suggested, "Perhaps a softer expression on this face," Leo would think, "He hates my work. He thinks it has no emotion." He began to hide his unfinished work, afraid of the master's gentle, but in his mind, painful observations. One year, the king announced a grand competition to create a new centerpiece for the royal gardens. The theme was freedom. Leo felt a surge of inspiration like never before. He decided he would carve his masterpiece, a magnificent eagle, its wings spread wide, just about to take flight from a rocky cliff. For months, he worked in a frenzy of passion. He poured all of his hopes, his dreams, and his soul into the stone. He barely ate or slept. The eagle slowly emerged from the marble, and in Leo's eyes, it was perfect. It was the physical form of his own desire for freedom and recognition. Finally, with trembling hands, he unveiled the statue for his master. The old man walked around the sculpture slowly, his eyes taking in every detail. He was silent for a long time. Then, he smiled a warm, genuine smile. "Leo," he said, his voice soft, "the passion in this piece is breathtaking. The energy is truly alive." Leo's heart swelled, but then, the master gently touched one of the eagle's outstretched wings. "However," he continued, "the stone here on the underside of this wing is too thick. It is too heavy. It holds the eagle down. It makes it look like it is struggling to fly, not soaring freely. You must be brave and cut away more of this stone to truly set it free." Leo's world shattered. He did not hear the praise. He did not hear the wisdom. All he heard was that his masterpiece, his soul, was flawed. "No," he said, his voice choked with emotion. "You are wrong. If I cut any more, the wing will be too thin. It will look weak. You want me to destroy it? You don't understand my vision." He stood in front of his statue protectively, as if the master was a threat. He was blind to the lesson and saw only an attack. The old master did not argue. He simply looked at Leo with an expression of deep compassion. He knew that no amount of words could break through the young man's wall of defensiveness. He needed to see the truth, not just hear it. "Come with me," the master said calmly. He led the heartbroken Leo out of the workshop to a large, untouched block of pristine white marble that sat in the courtyard. It was a perfect, massive cube of stone. The master placed his hand on the cold, smooth surface. "Leo, tell me, what do you see when you look at this?" he asked. Leo, still upset, shrugged. "I see a block of stone," he replied. The master shook his head gently. "No," he said. "I see a magnificent lion, coiled and ready to spring. The lion is already inside this block of marble. It has always been there. My job as a sculptor is not to create a lion from nothing. My job is simply to discover it. My job is to take my chisel and chip away everything that is not the lion." He turned to face Leo, his eyes full of a profound truth. "When I told you to cut away the stone on the eagle's wing, I was not attacking your creation. The perfect soaring eagle is already inside your sculpture, waiting. I was simply helping you see the excess stone that is keeping it trapped. My feedback was not a hammer to shatter your work. It was a chisel offered to you to help you set your masterpiece free. True artists do not fear the chisel of criticism, my boy. They welcome it because they know it is the only way to reveal the beauty hidden within." The metaphor was so simple, yet so powerful, that it broke through all of Leo's anger and pain. He stood and stunned silence. He was not a failure whose work needed fixing. He was a discoverer whose masterpiece was hidden, waiting to be revealed. The criticism wasn't the enemy. The excess stone was. Tears of understanding streamed down his face. He walked back to his eagle, but this time he saw it with new eyes. He saw the passion, but he also saw the heavy, clumsy stone on the wing that his master had pointed out. It was a part of the block, not a part of the bird. He picked up his chisel, took a deep breath, and with a steady hand, he made the cut. A large chunk of marble fell away, and suddenly, the wing looked lighter, more graceful, ready to catch the wind. It was a miracle. From that day on, Leo's entire perspective changed. We see a montage of him actively seeking his master's advice. He listens intently, nods, and works with the feedback, not against it. His skills grow at an incredible pace. In the final scene, years later, a mature and celebrated Master Leo is walking through the royal gardens. In the center stands his eagle, a breathtaking masterpiece of freedom and flight. He is with his own young, talented, but sensitive apprentice. The apprentice is showing him a new work, and Leo praises it, then gently points to a small section. "It is beautiful," Leo says with a kind smile. "Now, let us find the courage to chip away everything that is not the masterpiece." This story teaches us that constructive criticism is a gift. It is not meant to tear us down, but to help us remove what is holding us back. The next time you receive feedback, try not to see it as an attack on who you are. Instead, see it as a helpful guide, showing you where the excess stone is, so that you can set your own masterpiece free. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next story.